I'm going to show you now how to make this coiled spring bead. I've used artistic wire and I wrapped it around this knitting needle to form this coil spring. I'm going to place it over this 20 gauge natural copper wire, making a right angle bend. I'm going to tuck this into the chuck teeth and make a coil on the knitting needle about 6 turns around. Do as many as you choose. I'm going to push the spring up to the knitting needle, and at the other end of the spring I'm holding very tight onto the 20 gauge wire to get my coil going here, to get it started so it doesn't slip down the wire. Make nice consistent turns till you get to the end of your red coil and continue around 6 more times on the opposite side, equal numbers on both sides. Going to nip off my excess wire here. And here. And there you have it. If you want, you can kind of unscrew the middle section and make it more biconal in nature, or leave it tubular, your choice. But that's how you make a coiled spring bead. To further embellish the copper bead that we just made, I'm going to wrap it, as I have this one, with a second color of wire. This is artistic wire in teal that we're using, and here's the copper bead. I've put a rubber band on the end of the knitting needle, or halfway down it anyway, to hold this bead in place as I'm doing my winding. I'm going to take my teal wire, make a right angle bend and start it between the chuck teeth. I'm going to, turning the handle away from me, I'm going to go around a couple of times, then I'm going to start to pull it up over the coiled wire from the bead. And I'm not putting much pressure on it here, I'm just letting it flow freely. And it's laying itself down as I'm turning between the coils on the bead. You don't want to get too tight. You don't want it to slip down through the bead. You just want to lay it on top. So take your time. Go nice and slow. Even consistency. And when you get to the end, pull your rubber band down out of your way. Just roll it down just a little bit so you can keep twisting. And after you run out of copper wire, go around 2 or 3 more turns to finish off that bead. And there we have it. I'm ready to just trim the ends off now. Flat side of the cutter facing the finished bead. Nip off both ends. And there you have it. Beautiful, isn't it? To make a coiled bead using wool, what I do is put a drop of crazy glue on the wire and wrap the wool around a few times and hold it in place until it dries. And after it's stuck to the wire, I'll begin turning and coiling the wool over the wire. I'm keeping just light tension on the wool, because if you do it too tightly, when you go to bend this rod into a bead or wrap it around jig pegs, if the thread is stretched too tight, it will burst. You'll start to see little fraying happening. So you just keep light tension on it and coat the core wire. And you can use crochet cotton or wool or nylon or angora or ribbon or hemp or jute. Just light tension. I've gotten down to my mark here. Now I'm ready to put another dot of glue on the other end to stop the cord from fraying, unwinding. Just wait for a few seconds for it to dry, and then you'll have another rod ready for making a bead or for jigging. I've set up my Wire Wizard Deluxe Jig now. I hope you remember that I had an article in the October 1998 issue of Bead and Button. And what I've taken now is this wool covered rod that I use, the coiling gizmo. I wrap the wool over, 16 gauge wire, and I'm now going to bend the yoke for the center of the necklace. And I start by centering the coiled core, and I'm pulling it toward me to start. I'm going to flip this over, teardrop shape down on here, and working symmetrically so I have all the pieces come out even. Okay, ready to slip this off. Make a few little nips with my cutters here. And here. Take my chain nose pliers and twist these loops in just a little. There I have a yoke for the center of a necklace made out of wool and wire, gizmoed and jigged.